Thought I'd spend some time going over exercise 6. This is on tangents. This will be part of your homework assignment. It is exercise 6 in the book. Going back a little bit, but I thought we probably should get on to these tangents. So I'm actually doing this upside down so my hands don't get in the way quite as much. So we'll see how this works. We'll start with number 1. Number 1, I'll read from another sheet of paper. It says, draw an arc of radius 1.25 inches or 32 millimeters tangent of the arc and the line, and show your construction lines and tangency points. So 1.25, 32 millimeters. I'm going to start out by just drawing a couple construction lines. And the first one is from point C in the middle of that arc, and I'm just going to draw this more or less parallel to the horizontal line below. So I just drew that out. And we know that the tangency point will be somewhere in here, but it's going to be out. We're going to use the millimeters because we can find those easier on our scale, 32 millimeters. And I'm going to measure from the outside edge of the arc, 32 millimeters, and put a point right there. And I'm going to swing that arc down using my compass very carefully. Make sure you put some paper underneath this so your needle doesn't poke your desk. I'm going to lay it right on that dot. I'm just going to swing this arc like this, so you can start to see those show up. Next, I'm going to run a parallel line a distance of 32 millimeters up from the horizontal line. That's our point of tangency. So we got 32 here. I'm going to move down, put another line at 32, and then we'll just connect those dots. A little bit of a shadow here. Measure up. 32 should already be here. Should be right there. So shouldn't need to swing. Now we'll set our scale at 32. I'll lay my scale right here. I'm just going to set my dividers at 32. Right there. We put our point at the point of intersection here. Try to get it in there. Let's see, we're going to kiss it right there. And we're going to kiss it right here. So I'm pretty close. Now I'll just continue with my compass, just backing this off to darken this line up. If I take my point and connect to my center line, here's my point of tangency. I'll just make a mark there. And then we go perpendicular from that point straight down. We're going to have a point of tangency here. So I'll just darken this up a little bit more. So you just need to be careful. I think I got my thing in exactly the right spot, but make sure you darken that line. I put a fairly soft, oops, quite tight enough here. And there we have our point of tangency. So that takes care of number 1. Let's look now at number 2. Number 2 says draw an arc of a radius of 1 inch or 25 millimeters tangent to the arc and the line shown. So again, we're going to go from point C to the arc, and I want to draw another parallel line up the distance of 25 millimeters. So again, I'll get my scale. We'll go up 25 millimeters here, and we'll do another point here so that we're parallel. Okay. Now, if I draw a line straight up to the arc, we know that our point of tangency is going to be 25 millimeters. So if I take this point of this line and mark a distance 25 millimeters down, what I'm going to do is swing from this point up to that point. I'll just swing a light arc in this direction. So now we have a point of intersection right here on this dot. We set our compass at 25 millimeters. So I'm just going to take my scale and I'm going to bring this in to 25 millimeters, right about there. When I put my point here at the intersection, check it again, 25, this one's 25, and I should be able to swing this arc to the point of tangency, take my straight edge and go from this point of center point of the arc and draw a line straight through. This will give my point of tangency here, and then we hit a vertical line from the edge to this point of tangency, or to this center point. There's our point of tangency, would be right here. So there is number 2. Let's look at number 3. Now the 3, 4, 5, and 6 actually have little illustrations to show what they're looking for. We're looking for a point of tangency between this circle and this arc. We're going to do a radius of 1 inch tangent to the arc and show the construction lines. So in this one, we need to be 1 inch beyond the edge of the radiuses. So if we I'm just going to sketch a line straight out here, and I want to be 1 inch outside, from the outside edge of this to this point, and then we'll do another, just a vertical line right here, and we'll do 1 inch from that point up. So now we'll swing, sorry, pencil in my mouth. We're going to swing an arc from this point down, just keep it light, And then we're going to swing an arc from this point in, and then we come up with our point of intersection where the two arcs meet. I'm going to draw a light line between the center point of this and the center point of this and the point of intersection. And now what we'll do is take our compass, we're going to set my point right at that intersection point, come in till it touches this point on the edge of the circle. Theoretically, if I swing that arc, and I'm a little short, so didn't quite get this one where it needed to be. Set that out just a little bit more. This one's good. That one was just a little off. Yeah, I was a little short on my inch mark. Swing that arc again. Center point to this point right here. See, I was off just a little bit. Now we'll set this from that intersection point to the edge of this circle. What you can do is just kind of pick up your pencil a little bit and swing it over to make sure that you're touching. We're going to touch here and we're going to touch here. So I'm going to swing this arc, just make several passes over it to darken that one up. Take out this line here because I was off just a little bit. Reestablish it at this point. Now we have our point of tangency, and our point of tangency where the center of the arc passes through to the center of that piece. So there's our tangency there. I'm going to do all 6 of these, but I want you to also do them as part of your assignment. So let's move on to number 6. And this one says, draw an arc of a radius of 2 inches or 51 millimeters, tangent to the circles, show construction and tangent points. Now in this case we want our arcs to touch across the top, just like this small illustration here. So what we're going to do is look for, outside the circle we know we need to be 2 inches. So I'm going to measure, I'll just draw a line straight through this circle. And I'm going to go down from the top of this circle down to 2 inches. Off there. Okay. And then on this other one, I'm going to draw another line straight through center point, and from that top edge I'll go down 2 inches also. So what I want to do is swing an arc, compass, from this top edge down 2 inches. I'm just going to swing this arc in this direction. Now we have this point of intersection down here where these two meet. We should be able to set this on the top edge of that circle, come across, it's going to kiss. So again, we're just going to darken this up by just making several passes over it. Our point of tangency would be this point and this point. That one's pretty simple. Now this next one, so we're going from the outside of the point of tangency. This time we're going to the inside, so our arc is going to start at the top of the circle and it's going to connect to the bottom of this circle. Our radius on this one is also 2 inches, but this time we're going to go from the top of this circle. We're going to let's draw another line through the circle. We're going to go down 2 inches from the top because this is going to be our point where we're going to start. Down 2 inches, and on this one we start at the bottom of the circle because that's where our point of tangency wants to be. Let's just draw a straight line through here, pretty much any angle. We're going to go down 2 inches. Now let's swing a couple arcs. From this center point, oops, so from this point to this point, we'll swing an arc. And then from this point to this point, we'll swing an arc. So now, if everything works correctly, I'm going to find that center point where those 2 arcs meet, touches the top, and very lightly go down until it touches the bottom. So we're going to just connect this to its point of tangency. So we're doing this all just graphically. Make it 2 or 3 passes. Careful with your compass. And our point of tangency would be here and here, where the line passes through the center point. Actually, sorry, wouldn't be we have to go back to the intersection point. So our point of tangency would be here, where it passes through the center here, actually pushes it ahead. So this is our point of tangency, not this back one. Not this one. So there we have our point of tangency from where the arcs intersect. Straight line through the center gives us a point of tangency on these circles. One more. This one's a little funkier. It's got a nice little curve, so we need to find a point of tangency and an arc, a distance of 0.8 inches or 20 millimeters. We'll use 20 millimeters on this one. So what we want to do is I'm just going to draw a straight line from my center point through this top arc, and I'm going to measure 20 millimeters. So there is 20 millimeters right there. And we're going to swing an arc on that point from the center point. Squeeze it in until it touches that line. Pardon my hand. I'm just going to swing an arc right there. 20 millimeters in from the outside. Now what we're going to do is select another and we'll just go and I'll go straight up with this line. So this one wants to be 20 millimeters outside of this one, the right scale, outside edge to 0, there's 20 millimeters. So let's put our point in the center, squeeze it in so it touches that mark. We'll just do a nice easy curve. So now we have an intersection of these two arcs. If we come down to a point, I'm going to put 20, trying to do this with one hand so I don't take up so much space. Stick my point right there and go to 20 millimeters. Set my point at the intersection of those two arcs. You can see it touches there and it touches here. So again, we'll swing that arc, trying not to drive that point in too deep, but I wanted it to show up, so I'm trying to get that. Our points of tangency now will be where this center point passes through the intersection, and where this point, from the center point to the point of intersection, we're going to have a point of tangency here and a point of tangency here. And that is it for the lab assignment for sheet 6, part of week 4. And make sure you put your name on the paper. And that'll be turned in next Monday. Thank you.